Trekkies and Trekkers. Welcome to this amazing Star Trek podcast on Trek Tuesday. I'm your host Orinda, and together with Amanda Hopper, I recap every 2 weeks an episode of Star Trek TNG. All the episodes will be recapped in chronically following. We will approach each episode with humor and a feminine look. Today we recap the episode Q Who. On his way back to his quarters, Captain Picard steps off a turbolift, and instead of finding himself in a corridor on board the Enterprise, he ends up on board a shuttlecraft with Q at the controls. Picard demands to be returned to the Enterprise. Q calls him an impossibly stubborn human and refuses to take him back until he agrees to at least hear Q's request. Q then transports them to 10 Forward, where Guinan, who recognizes him, warns Picard not to trust him. Q reveals that he wants to join the crew to assist them in the push further into unexplored regions of the galaxy, asserting they are not ready for the threat they will encounter. Picard chooses to make their own way into the unknown and rejects Q's offer. Irritated by Picard's arrogance, Q instantly sends the Enterprise thousands of light years across the galaxy, then disappears. Lieutenant Commander Data reports that the nearest starbase is over 2 years away at maximum warp. A fearful Guinan warns Picard to set course for home immediately, but Picard is curious to explore. The crew discover a nearby planet that shows signs of a previous civilization, but has been stripped of all the industry and mechanical elements, similar to destruction found several months ago at Federation outposts bordering the Romulan neutral zone. Moments later, they detect and are then met by a large cube-shaped vessel, which does not answer their hails. Guinan warns Picard that the ship belongs to the Borg, a powerful cyborg-like race that nearly wiped out her people, scattering the survivors across the galaxy, and again urged Picard to leave immediately or face the certain destruction. Though Picard ordered the Enterprise shields raised, a single speechless Borg transports into engineering and begins to probe the Enterprise computer systems. Lieutenant Worf initially attempts to incapacitate the intruder with his phaser set on stun, which has no effect. Worf is forced to use the kill setting in order to neutralize the Borg. Immediately afterwards, a second Borg appears and continues probing the computer, now proving to be completely immune to phaser fire. Completing its mission, it strips several components from the dead Borg, then transports itself and the dead Borg away. The Borg ship contacts the Enterprise and demands a surrender. The Borg then immobilized the Enterprise with a tractor beam, disabled the shields, and used the cutting beam to slice into the saucer section to remove a cross-section of the ship, killing 18 people. Picard orders return fire, and the Enterprise apparently disabled the Borg ship. Against Guinan's advice, Commander William Riker takes an away team to the immense Borg cube, where they find mostly dormant Borg drones and a Borg nursery. Data discovered that the Borg ship is regenerating and repairing the damage made by the Enterprise. The away team is beamed directly to the bridge, and Picard ordered that they depart at maximum warp. The Borg ship suddenly reactivates and begins pursuit, getting the Enterprise. Q appears on the bridge and warns Picard that the Borg will never stop chasing them and cannot be defeated. Picard attempts to fight back against the Borg to no avail and finally admits he needs Q's help. Q obliged, saving returning the Enterprise to its last position in Federation space. Picard, though thankful for Q's lesson, blames Q for the death of his crew. Q disappears, but not before reminding them again of their ill-preparedness. Guinan warns Picard that now that the Borg are aware of the Federation presence, they will be coming. Picard reflects that perhaps Q did the right thing for the wrong reason by bringing forward their encounter with the Borg. As it is informed that the Federation what lies ahead of them, and they continue to explore. Alright guys, let's see how Amanda is doing. Hello Amanda.
Well, hello. I am doing pretty good today. My right knee is a little bit sore. I think I hit it on something the other day, doing something out in the garage, which I probably did because we were making a bunch of room in the garage so we can get the Honda in there. I don't even think there's enough room in there right now. It's so packed. And we had a snowstorm a few days ago. Oh well, that's life in Canada. We've had a few days this week. Well, we're only on Tuesday? Yeah, a couple days this week where we already had snow. We're supposed to get more this week, I guess. I don't like snow. But whatever.
Well guys, I have also some exciting news. Last week I got an email of this company who do podcast stats, and they notified us that we are the #1 podcast in the sci-fi category in Guatemala. And
Woo!
We are in the second place, and now I need to check that one more time, because we have the second position in the category of fiction in Guatemala, and we are position 18 in the category of all podcasts in Guatemala. So I'm very, very proud of this stats, what we have.
Oh, wow.
Although it's just in Guatemala.
But
still, yeah. I think this is the positive reaction we needed to go on.
Yeah. I was like, what? When you sent me that, I was like, what? I was surprised. I was like, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, me too. And I never thought that sci-fi was that big in a country like Guatemala.
Well, yeah, it surprises you how far sci-fi gets around the world.
I think sci-fi is so. I think that it's just in general that people would like, and it doesn't matter if you are living in a rich country or in a poor country.
Yeah. Everybody likes their sci-fi.
And I think we have a lot of thank of to Gene Roddenberry, because he had this vision of to put a black African woman on the bridge, also as an Asian on the bridge. And
woman.
Thanks to him, rethinking a little bit more out of the box, if I can say it like that.
Yeah, he was definitely thinking out of the box.
And it came as a surprise. It was really coming as a surprise. And I must say, I didn't tell you this, but lately I had some offers to make for our podcast, Girls Talking Track, a professional website.
Holy crap, that's awesome.
Yeah, but it's still, like I said, we do this for fun.
Yeah.
We
do it for fun.
We don't earn any money of it, and it is not even professional what we're doing. So I'm just,
Yeah, we just do this for fun. we're not like pros at it. We just do it for fun. We're having fun talking about each episode and saying what character we like and what character we'd rather throw out of an airlock.
Well, it's also, I think, like, it's not that we are professionals schooled in it. And yeah. I think, of course, there are a lot of improvements to be doing. But I'm thinking of, it's just, I think the time and the amount of things we are putting in right now is just enough for us, what we are doing in today. And when I was thinking of making a Patreon page, there is so much more to think of and to donate your time in. So that's one of the reasons I didn't go for it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So, let's start with the episode. Of course, like you said, guys, give me some feedback about the intro text I'm doing. I am recapping already the plot of the episode. So, most of the time you will hear things that we were saying 2 or 3 times. But give me some feedback on what you think about me going over the plot. So, this is indeed the episode I thought it would be with Q. This is the episode that Q is sending the Enterprise 7,000 light years further to encounter for the first time the Borg.
Ooh, yeah.
And, in one way I had to laugh about it because this is the first time we meet the Borg and it was so crappy in the costumes. You could see just a latex and then some kind of a Borg emblem on it. If you see the Borg outfits today,
they look really good now.
They are really good now, yeah. And if you see some of the cosplays as well, it's...
I know. There was a picture of me. I don't know if you've seen it. You might have seen it. There's a picture of me. There was a few years before this whole crazy thing with COVID went on. I went to a convention called G-Con in Miramichi, and there were 2 Borg from the Moncton area, 2 people dressed as Borgs. And I have a picture of me with them on my phone. I'll have to share it to you in the messengers later so you can post it to the podcast page. And they were dressed as Borg, and I was dressed as Brent Spiner's character, Sydney from Outcast. And I'm standing right between those 2. I was kind of nervous because it was hilarious. And that picture, along with others, ended up in the Miramichi newspaper.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
I know. It was hilarious.
It was, and that was the weird thing because they didn't say we are the Borg, you will be assimilated and resistant this future. They didn't say that. It was just totally, how do I say this? So,
just mindlessly like a bee working away, like a worker bee, basically.
Yeah, it's just like,
Just, like, boop, 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 let's screw up something here. Boop, boop, boop. Type thing. Messing around with stuff, whatever.
So, if we start the episode, we have that hot chocolate incident with Picard and the new ensign. She was getting on my nerves, to be honest.
Gomez. I think her last name was Gomez?
I believe so, yeah.
Ensign Gomez? Excuse me. Yeah, she kind of, she was talking like a mile a minute, like she was so hyper.
Yeah, and she, I don't know. It was also strange for Geordi. I think Geordi, he reacted formidable, I guess, because he wasn't.
Yeah, he was trying to be nice.
Yeah, but that's Geordi.
Yeah. That's just Geordi. He's just trying to be nice to I think he's trying to calm her down to stop being so, how should I put it, hyper and talkative. That's me. I'm like that sometimes because of my ADHD. I'm hyper and I'm talkative like she was. I get that way at times, and Dad has to tell me to stop.
So, at the end, Picard is going to his quarters to change because he said, well, and also Picard was very nice to her. He already saw that she was so talkative and excited, and so he told her, it's fine, Ensign, I will go to my room to change, and that's fine, you know. And when he stepped out the turbo lift, he was not walking into the corridor, but he was in a shuttle with a crew member, and it would be any chance that someone we know?
Yep.
Oh dear. It's the Q.
It's Q, played by John Delancey. That man is hilarious as Q. And of course Q, he likes to be a pest at times.
Oh, he was so super annoying this episode.
Oh, yes.
But there's one thing I also really noticed, and that was how young those two were. They were so young. If you see them now, you know, like when you see them in Star Trek Picard.
Yeah.
It's not even imaginable that they would reprise that role. What is it, 20, 25 years later?
At least, because it was in the 90s. It ended. I graduated. Yeah, over 25 years later, I would say. Because that's when I graduated in 98. So, yeah, 98, I think, is when TNG ended, I think, isn't it?
When I saw that shuttle, the first thing that comes into mind was it looks like a more modern shuttle. What is weird, but yeah. If you see in the former seasons, it's like a little bit more to the old version of Star Trek TOS.
Okay.
So, and yeah, I don't know, it's not the captain's yacht because we also have that as a model, but yeah, that was something I noticed. So, Picard was battering with him, and there was Troy came to the bridge very
worried
indeed, and she called Picard, didn't answer. Riker asked the computer to locate Captain Picard, and he wasn't on the ship.
Yeah, the computer goes, Picard is not on the ship, and there is no shuttlecraft either on the ship. They're like, what is going on?
So they start the search mission, and one way or another, it was like no. First, we see Garnet in 10 forward, and she was talking to someone, and then she feels that something is wrong. So she called the bridge, and she never called the bridge.
Yeah, like she sensed something was amiss. Like she's like, what is going on? Something seems off. So she called the bridge, and Riker's like, Gunnan, you never called the bridge. She's like, no, but I sense something is off type thing. Like she's kind of like Deanna with the mind reading type deal, but she's not a Beta Z. I forget. Alorian. She's an Alorian, I think they said. That's it, Alorian. So they're kind of similar in the ways of being able to sense things, I guess.
It's more like that because they are very old creatures. You know, in one way, I have always had the feeling that they took human forms instead of an alien form in that way. But they are very special in a way of who they are and what they are. It's like Una, you know, Una from number 1.
Number 1. Trying to think about that one.
First officer of Pike and Kirk.
Oh, okay.
In the TOS series, she been played by Major Roddenberry. And
okay.
In Strange New Worlds, she's been played by, what's her name? She's very famous. Her husband is also in Lower Decks. Rebecca Romijn. That's her name.
Oh, Rebecca Romijn?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's the one that did Mystique on X-Men.
Was that her? I thought that was, what's her name? The one who played Kathleen in, what's the, with the trials? Hunger Games.
They did have multiple people play Mystique, but Rebecca Romijn has done Mystique a couple of times.
Okay. Q is still toying with Picard, and it was really right away. Oh, dude, why the hell? You promised never to interfere with Picard and the crew again, and now you're doing it, you know?
I know.
And then he said, like, well, Captain Mon Capitan, I keep my promise because we're not on your ship. And I was thinking, what? Dude, I want to kick your butt that hard that you are flying so hard far in space that nobody can find you, not even the Q Continuum.
Mm.
He was so annoying.
Didn't at one point he went up behind him and whispered in his ear, like really close?
Yeah, that was on when they were back on the Enterprise, but we will come to that part in a minute.
Okay.
So Q was saying, well, I will bring you back to the ship if you promise me to hear me out. So Picard say, okay, yes. And then they appear in 10 Forward. And 10 Forward seems empty, but only Guinan was there. And Guinan was very shocked to see him because they had encountered each other's species.
Oh yeah, they didn't like each other that well, and she popped up from behind the counter she was all ready to go raptor mode on him. She had her hands up and everything like her.
Yeah, that hands up. That is one of her famous poses on. If you go to conventions and want her autographed, you can buy a picture of her and then you can let it sign her. And that is 9 of the 10 times that picture that she's standing with her hands up like that to fight Q. That is one of the famous pictures that is floating around of her.
Oh, okay.
So, that moment after, Riker and Worf were joining them in 10 Forward, and that conversation, oh my god, I have to laugh about this. So, the first thing Q said to Worf, hello, Macrobrain. Grow for me. So, yeah, that was make me laugh again and was saying, oh yeah, I remember that. That was funny. And
Amazing Worf hasn't taken him, grabbed him, and just dropped him into a table for that.
Have you already seen Picard season 3?
I'm watching it.
All right.
I already got the first 3 episodes watched.
Sorry guys, but this is a little spoiler. Worf is making a freaking good and big entrance.
Oh, did he ever? Oh my.
And then there was a scene in in episode 2, I believe, or 3, I can't remember which one, that Ruffy was wanted to fight him, but he was her correspondent in whatever else what they do. But Worf was practicing his battle moves on Klingon opera. And although they see him as a pacifist now, he is still fighting so hard. And I really have to say this. That scene with him being there as Worf, he is so matured now. And I really love what they did with all making the former TNG cast older. I really love that.
Oof. Yeah, I love his outfit. I love how he has his like long hair. I love his long hair on him.
And you know what it also is? We see here a matured Worf, and this is actually Worf I really like. The Worf in TNG and even a part of Deep Space Nine I didn't like. And you know, it's nice to see that they make him like this. And I have the feeling when I see Star Trek Picard Season 3, this is it. They're really giving not 100% but 1,000%. And I can't wait what it's going to process with it.
I know. I wonder what episode 4 is going to be like on Thursday. Oh. It's going to be wild.
I don't know. I try not to get those little pre-videos. I don't want that
either. But I'm just saying. I bet you it will be wild.
It will be wild. When I saw the first episode, it was already wow, and the second episode was wow indeed. And then it was hitting me of the makers are really, really keeping their promises, what they promised the Trek fans. Oh, guys, I got a little bit of a sad Trek news too. I don't know if you guys have heard it already, but season 5 of Discovery will be the final season.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Oh.
So, I think they do that maybe because there are I think they, of course, Strange New World is still in production, but also the new one with Michelle Yeoh as in Section 31 is in production. I thought I heard one of the last rumors, and that rumor came from Will Wheaton himself, is that they're gonna make a movie of the Section 31. And I don't know if they are going to make a movie or if they're gonna make a series of it.
Sounds interesting.
So let's get back to the episode.
Yeah.
So Q said hello, Microbrain, and Q came with the biggest shock ever, I think, in what he did in TNG. And maybe even in Voyager and the other series. He announced that he wants to become a member of the Enterprise crew to serve and go with them to missions to the unknown worlds. And the reaction of, as well as Worf, as Picard, as Riker, was very skeptical. And Riker guessed it right away and tell them, well, the only thing you want to become a crew member because you have no sanctuary somewhere. So have you been kicked out of the Q Continuum? And not really in a proud or embarrassed way, Q told them, yeah, I have been. After the last thing I did to you guys, they kicked me out of the Continuum. What he deserved. And this is, by the way, not the first time he has been kicked out of the Continuum or stripped of his powers.
Yeah, why am I not surprised?
Yeah, indeed. So, they talk it over, etc., and Picard was skeptical, and they say, well, we are not going into that because you always where you go is trouble.
Yeah. Like, if he's on that ship, he's bound to cause trouble wherever he goes. That's what would happen if they make him a member of the crew. He would just cause problems. It's like, good Lord.
The only time I really laughed very hard on Q was when they stripped him of all his Q powers and he became human. And he said he got sentry on the Enterprise and he had back pain and he didn't know what it was. So they let Dr. Crusher come to the engineering and she back rubbed him and he was in so much pain that she enjoyed it to do that.
Oh yeah. You know she was definitely enjoying putting pain on him after what he did to them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
annoying little fool.
Q was so arrogant again of saying, well, you need me because I know what you can expect and I can guide you through the difficulties in what lies in the future. And Picard denied him. And so what did Q in a childish way, of a childish manner, is like, he sent them 7,000 light years away to encounter the Borg.
Yeah, just with a click of his hands. Like that, and he sent them over 7,000 kilometers away or whatever. Kilometers or miles.
And Riker asked Q, why did you do that? And Q said, well, I just want to give you a glimpse from the future, So then he vanished, and Picard asked Guinan, what the hell was, where are we? You have encountered this before. And Guinan was really afraid, and she said, you need to set home right away, because it would be, they are more than 2 years away on maximum warp to the nearest starbase. And that reminded me right away of Voyager. And instead that Picard is listening to Guinan, he was curious and started investigating. And Guinan said, well, it is the Borg, and she had more information of them, and she joined the senior staff meeting for this time.
Yeah, because she knew quite a bit about the Borg, and I guess the Borg attacked her planet, I guess.
It was that,
some of them got out of there in time, and they were able to get away from the Borg, so she knew quite a bit of info about them and the way they acted.
Yeah, and it's just like, I was very surprised that Guinan didn't have more strong notion of what she knew, and normally Picard would listen And this time it was like, okay, you told me, okay, I'm doing this for ourselves, and go for it. And a moment later, we see they get a message from engineering, from LaForge, that there was something going on and there was an intruder in engineering. So Picard and Riker and Worf came down to investigate, and that Borg drone scanned the whole system and the computer and whatever else, more what Borg drones do. And so he was trying to get the annihilation from the Enterprise. And
I think what he was doing was reading the computer to see what the strength of the ship was, the weaponry. I think that's what it was doing.
Yeah, and Worf got the permission to shoot it down, first on stunt, of course, but that didn't help. And then he needed to set the phaser on kill, and that's how he killed the drone. And right away, another drone beamed down and continued to work. And this time when Worf wanted to shoot that Borg down, he had his adapted the shield. So that drone finished and took some parts of that drone, and then they beamed over. There was one feeling I got also with this whole situation. They say it's curiosity from Picard, but I had the feeling that he was a little bit of a naive. What do you think, Amanda?
Well, yeah, because it wasn't curiosity. They were searching for their weaknesses, and he said they were curious about who they were. I don't think they were curious. They wanted to take the Enterprise down, is what they want to try to do.
Yeah, but I mean, didn't Picard was a little naive?
Yeah, I would say he was. Yeah.
So after that, Garden tells her story of her people and what their encounter was with the Borg. And like I said in the beginning when we started, the Borg was hating them, and it was not the Borg as we know today. And it was not like, we are the Borg, you will be assimilated, and resistance is futile. That was totally different. So that was very different.
Because this is the first time we met the Borg, and they didn't say anything. They just came on, did whatever, and left.
Not only that, it's just like, yeah. So then the Borg hold the Enterprise with some kind of a tractor beam. And the Enterprise was firing back. Then
they couldn't really. Yeah, they can't really damage the ship. They realized after a while, and they brought it up on view screen after they fired at it, and they saw the damage. But here's the kicker: the damage was fixing itself.
Yeah, but
it's like a starfish regenerating. The ship was regenerating its parts back.
Yeah, and it was so
like a lizard.
The cube was damaged, but also all the drones were in stasis. So Riker wanted to go with Data and Worf to investigate. They want to get more information. And Guinan really can't believe her ears, because she was warning them time after time and they just don't listen. And so they got onto the Borg ship. They were investigating that and see they were in stasis, and some were coming out but didn't pay attention to them. And then they found a nursery with a Borg baby. And what I noticed is that Riker is really communicating it very well to Picard. He described what he sees as the baby Borg grows. He sees how what he sees, and he did that very well. So there was something, and I can't remember what, that made Picard beam the awaiting back straight to the bridge, and Picard wanted to get out of there with Warp 8, but the Borg was pursuing them. And that was the scene that you saw, that the Borg ship, while they were pursuing the Enterprise, was repairing themselves. And then, of course, Q appears, and he was still boogering them with the thing of, okay, you need me, that and that. And Picard needed to say those words, I need you, Q. And right away when Picard said that, Q sent him back to that starting point when this episode begins. After that, we see the last scene is that Picard and Guinan playing some kind of a Vulcan chess with special chess pieces.
Yeah, I think it's like 3D chess, I think it is.
Yeah,
you can buy that apparently.
Yeah, I have seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it too somewhere. I forget where I saw it, but it'd be so hard to play.
Maybe.
Be like,
So guys, we are at the ending of this episode. Amanda, do you still want to add something?
I thought it was a pretty good episode. Pretty good introduction to the Borg. Yeah, like I said, the outfits, like, this is the first time meeting the Borg, because their outfits are kind of like, meh. But when you start meeting the Borg more and more in the episodes, future episodes, their outfits get pretty crazy and more
Borg-like.
Stylish, and Borg-like, more lasers, more weaponry, stuff like that. And of course, Lore's going to be among them in certain episodes because he's a jerk at times. And Q's annoying. What else is new? The little pest of the space, you could call him. And Guinan, she's a good character. I like her character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this episode quite a bit.
So, the IMDb rating is very high this time for this episode. It's an 8.9.
Oh yeah, that's the definitely good score for this episode.
So what would you rate it?
I would give it a flat 9 because I liked it a lot.
Okay, I will rate it. I rate it an 8.
Okay.
I had the feeling that they could do more.
Yeah.
And maybe maybe making a 2-parter, because there was a moment that I had the feeling, okay, Picard will be abducted and we will see Locutus.
Oh yeah, there could have been a 2-parter. I guess they wanted to keep the whole Locutus thing in the future episodes, I guess.
Was that not also in a movie?
Oh no, well, kind of. He went back to where Alice Cringe was the Borg Queen, and they were gonna do it, make him Locutus, because she had Data with him too.
Yeah.
But she called him Locutus, but he didn't have like all the stuff on him in that movie.
There was something else, and Star Trek Online players know what I mean. If you are doing the tutorial of the Starfleet side, the Fed side, there was a moment that the Borg would enter the engineering, and it was, I think that is the same season and reason of this scene. They picked it off from there, so it was very recognizable for me to watch that scene.
Okay.
Yeah, guys. Well, sorry for the spoilers of Picard. A little bit. It's not totally that different, but yeah, I had to say this, and like I said in one of the episodes of Orinda Talks episode of a podcast, I will, after Picard ended, I will do a whole episode of Star Trek Picard 3. But that is just when it ends. And yeah, I really enjoying this season of Picard.
Yeah, I know. So good.
It's really good.
Watch at least one episode.
So, well, Amanda, I think this is the end of this episode. Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you for joining me again. And we see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yeah, see you guys in 2 weeks.
Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.
Dear listeners, thank you for listening and join us in 2 weeks for a new episode recap. In the next episode, we will recap the episode St. Martin Snare. I also like to tell you about my other podcast called Orinda Talks. Orinda Talks is a podcast wherein I talk about books, movies, fandoms, and other geek things. You can find Orinda Talks on the YouTube channel or join the Facebook group. We will see you in 2 weeks.